All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Louis. Today is May 20, 2020, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News Channel. Guys, I want to show you the title to this article, and it says here, Yellowstone Volcano. Very unnerving discovering after Idaho, earthquake revealed. Hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, are reporting the ground still shaking. And most of those people are nervous. They believe that Yellowstone is a big threat and we could see a huge eruption. Now, the people that's reporting the ground shake, most of them are saying that they believe that Yellowstone is going to erupt. A lot of people are nervous. Some people have fear. But there's an expert that comes out and he's going to give all the details explaining what's really going on ever since Idaho earthquake. Now, you guys know that Nevada got hit with a 6.7. It was downgraded to a 6.5. Also, Utah got hit, and those area is not too far from Yellowstone, Wyoming. So a lot of people believe that Yellowstone, there's a eruption imminent to come. People want answer, but once again, guys, when it comes to events like this, like Yellowstone or asteroids, you best believe that NASA, USGS is not going to give a lot of information. They know that these, again, the volcano is a big threat, but you can't put out the real news out there because many people is going to panic, and that's how crisis will start, and economy will go down, the stock market would crash. So sometimes these NASA and the USGS got to keep quiet. The president knows a lot when it comes to Yellowstone, and this is why experts are saying that they need more than $1 billion to dig right next to Yellowstone volcano and dig really deep past the magma chamber and then add water so it could cool the magma. Here's the problem, guys. Yellowstone is too big. If you put water down there to try to cool the magma chamber, that water will evaporate. It would just disappear in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, it will make it much worse, which means it's pushing it to a huge catastrophic event. Now, before I start, guys, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends, families, and loved ones. Once again, volcanoes are being put out there in the news. Not the real news, guys, but I'm talking about a news article here. The news media is not going to report this. They will write the article, but they're not going to talk about it. So once again, Yellowstone volcano, very unnerving discovering after Idaho earthquake revealed. So Yellowstone volcano, expert Professor Mike Poland revealed a very unnerving discovery made by the USGS in the wake of two recent earthquakes within the region of the super volcano. Now, on March 18, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hit Salt Lake City, Utah, which was the state's strongest quake since 1992. And less than 2 weeks later, a magnitude 6.5 earthquake struck near Roughneck Peak in the Sawtooth Mountains of central Idaho. There were no deaths or major injuries recorded by either event, but their proximity to the Yellowstone volcano raised eyebrows among locals who feared they could spark a super eruption. Almost 2 months on, the USGS is getting calls from concerned members of the public who are still feeling the ground rumbling. Now, if people are still feeling the ground rumbling, look, I go to the USGS every single day to just see what's really going on in the Pacific Ring of Fire, Cascadia Subduction Zone, New Madrid, earthquakes in various places. Nevada is still receiving a whole bunch of aftershock, and also Idaho and Utah, because again, guys, a big monster earthquake struck those areas. There's going to be a lot of small aftershocks. Excuse me. So Professor Poland took to YouTube at the start of May to explain why these events could still be felt by those that live near the caldera of Yellowstone. He said, I wanted to address some of the earthquake activity that we've been asked quite a lot about by the public. Some of the earthquakes are ongoing in Idaho and also in the Salt Lake City area, which I agree. So now these are aftershock sequences from the strong events that happened near Salt Lake City on March 18. I mean, look at that picture. That is brutal. That is, man, that is really bad. I mean, just, it's not only that one spot, the entire land, it's just ready to blow. This thing is just a a teapot. You know how you add water in it, and then once the water is warm, you hear that whistle sound, and it just Yellowstone is just ready to pop. Okay, there was a magnitude 5.7 earthquake and also a magnitude 6.5 in central Idaho on March 31st. Professor Poland went on to explain how these aftershocks could continue for some time. But here's the problem. These aftershocks will also be felt in Yellowstone. So he added that the aftershock sequence are the faults readjusting after these major earth events, kind of like a house setting in a way. The stress field changes, and so the faults have to adjust, and you get a lot of these earthquakes that tend to tail off over time. The larger the earthquake, the longer the aftershock sequence can last. That is very true. You guys already know Ridgecrest, California was struck last year, July 5th, 2019. It was a 7.2, I believe, and it received more than 1,000 aftershock. Matter of fact, I heard it was 10,000 and up. So in Idaho, we might expect to see aftershock that are ongoing for a year, at least many, many months, although this will gradually tail out over time. Professor Poland claimed he understood why the public would be worried about the aftershock, but stated they were not linked to the caldera itself. So these quake, small aftershock has nothing to do with Yellowstone. It's just the aftershock from that big monster earthquake that struck Salt Lake City, Idaho, and Nevada. Has nothing to do with Yellowstone. But those big earthquakes that occurred, like Salt Lake City, March 18, you best believe that Yellowstone felt that one. So he added, still very unnerving because most of these events are felt, but they are just aftershock sequences and are not related to any magmatic activity, even though it has the look of a swarm of earthquakes of the type that we see in Yellowstone. These are related to the settling of faults after the events that occur in mid to late March. The Yellowstone volcano gets its nickname as a supervolcano due to its capability to inflict global devastation during a super eruption. All right, so give me 1 second here, guys. There we go. Now it goes on to say this has happened 3 times in the past 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 630,000 years ago, leading some to claim it is overdue another. At the end of the day, guys, these numbers is science numbers. I go by the word of God. Nobody knows when Yellowstone is going to erupt, but God is holding that for in the end times, which means that's one of God's wrath to shake the world, and this Yellowstone is going to completely shake the world. It's probably going to crack America in like three different parts. So it says here, but the USGS has previously put minds at ease regarding any overdue claims. Yellowstone Volcano Observatory scientist in charge, Jacob Lowenstern, said in 2014, when you see people claiming it's overdue, usually the number they come up with say the last eruption was 640,000 years ago. But it erupts every 600,000 years. So that means that we are overdue by 40,000 years. But in fact, if you average the eruption intervals, there's 2.1 million to 1.3 million, and then another 640,000 years ago. If you average those numbers, you come up with something that's over 700,000 years. So in reality, even if you try to make this argument, it wouldn't be overdue for another 70,000 years. So, what does this mean? Well, what this man is trying to say is that you have to look at the numbers, 2.1 million to 1.3 million. Again, that is not 640,000 years or 600,000 years. That's basically 700,000 years. So we should be all right for another 70,000 years. At the end of the day, guys, they don't know the numbers. They go by when was the last it erupted. But it doesn't go by, overdue or early or late. Once again, God is the one that calls the shot. So let's say Yellowstone volcano erupts today, and then it erupts 20 years later. Well, God, allow it to happen. But once again, when it comes to Yellowstone, nobody knows when this monster volcano right here is going to erupt. Nobody knows it. Look at that. It looked like an eye, like like a reptile or something. Like there's something underneath there. The bottomless pit. It looks just like an eyeball. That thing looks scary. I mean, just ready to blow. That is brutal, guys. That right there looks like a demon eyeball, just waiting for its moment to be released. That looks brutal. Just really brutal. So once again, guys, in the end times, God is going to release his wrath. And Jesus mentioned that there will be fearful sights, fearful events to come. So at the end of the day, like I say, guys, you don't need to have fear. Again, don't worry what's going to happen today or tomorrow. At the end of the day, you got to search for God's kingdom. And from there, God will protect you. But if you are scared of the things of the world and Yellowstone and all that, then you need to start picking up your Bible more often and get closer to Jesus Christ. I mean, again, we all have fear. We fear something in the world. And, when Yellowstone erupts, I mean, everybody's going to have fear. Everybody's going to be afraid. Because, again, America will shake once this monster Yellowstone erupts. So, once again, just continue living your life cheerful. And for those of you that call the USGS and worry about it, again, just continue living your life. If it happens, it happens. Again, you cannot escape death, because one day we all going to die. Everybody's going to die. You cannot live on forever. So all you got to do is live your life. Believe in Jesus Christ. Be good to other people, and pray for many people. Pray for your enemy. Pray for a lot of people. So once again, guys, many people are worried, calling USGS, but at the end of the day, it's just aftershocks. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Luis Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, P.O. Box number 2, 3432 U.S. Highway 19, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to support us, again, the links are in the description box. And for those of you that want to give your life to Jesus Christ, email me. My email will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, guys. God bless. Give your life to Jesus Christ and get baptized. We are living in tough time. Till next time, later. Peace.